is just fantastic.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. We're going to try and finish the video with a slightly low effort video. Do apologise for that. Before we dive into it, I shall be streaming on Twitch tonight and Kick. If interested, go give a follow. It's free. Hope to see you there. The subject concerns Hasan Piker because, man, he just gets annoyed right now, and his annoyance is mostly directed at the lack of criticism, according to him, being thrown at Ethan and Asmongold. Now, when it comes to Asmon, the reason why is because Asmon's better than him. He makes more money, and he's not even trying to. In the case of Ethan, Ethan has more money, and because Ethan has exposed Hasan, and because Ethan doesn't care and is going after everyone. And Hasan doesn't really have the capacity to defend his claimed friends and his orbiters. To him, they're just pawns. And as time unfolds, this becomes more apparent. So for this, to prove the point, we're going to go to a video shared to Twitter by his favourite friendiest of friends, Yeet.
Or there are numerous examples of people that were just like cast aside as pariahs. But nowadays, a lot of the people that do speak out about this a lot of people that do speak out about this kind of stuff are actually some of the most awful people.
This is where one learns to agree to disagree with differing opinions. You don't, though. Everything to you, unless it fully aligns with what you believe in, is the enemy. And for Hasan, the Overton window shifts every 5 to 10 years. It's why we've seen a bit of an electric boogaloo, a renaissance to more anti-SJW mentalities. Not the community, but the perspective. Language that was not acceptable 4 or 5 years ago is now acceptable again. Free speech is constantly being attacked. Culture wars apparently getting a folie à deux moment situation type deal. It's remarkably common for this to happen. You may well have preferred for these creators that were then shunned to remain shunned, but it speaks a lot about how insecure you are that you cannot understand, appreciate, or perhaps articulate a good counterpoint without simply ad-homing everyone that were once to you. This is where we know where the level is with you, because you don't have the ability to be able to coherently articulate a point that actually does dunk on the very people you despise. Although I do think your despising of these people is what's undoing you anyway.
Right? It's Keemstar orbiters that rely on this constant cycle of toxicity.
Keemstar orbiters? Just how relevant do you think Keemstar is these days? Many commentary types don't have much in the way of interactions with him at all. Keemstar is involved in lolcow stuff, yes, but I guess that's the only way anyone could be considered a Keemstar orbiter when you come up in discussion, as a lolcow. Commentary encapsulates a massive swath of the online space. Right now, it's like many different genres is under attack from farming for clicks, AI-generated crap that YouTube and many other platforms need to get there, well, act in line. They need to deal with that. But for as long as we people, exist, and you continue to present really stupid ideas, your really stupid ideas are going to be dunked on. As it should, by the way.
So even the good side of commentary YouTube just basically stays quiet.
This is fundamentally incorrect. Rarely is commentary quiet. What he means to say is, when it's something he finds contentious and believes needs to be raised as a more important point, there are not many aligning with his thought process. That should, if anything, be a massive warning for you as to what side of history you're on. There are going to be creators that will believe and align with you, but also you have to consider the following. Many of us commentary creators, we are slaves of views. We will go where the more contentious subject resides, and we will talk about that. So you being in the wrong is going to be more interesting for me, better for me as well. And since I do believe for the most part you're in the wrong, I'm going to go in that direction anyway, as a verifiable slop tuber.
And a lot of the big content creators try to stay away from this drama because they don't want this kind of toxicity to come their way, which is understandable.
Bigger creators don't need to inject themselves too much into controversy. Additionally, it is likely they also agree with those criticizing you. Self-preservation is, of course, a massive motivator. When it comes to much in the way of what you and your orbiters have done, especially when it comes to lawsuits that we've been discussing on this channel recently, you are majority in the wrong. Your criticisms, your bullying, your harassment, and justification for others doing it to the likes of Ethan and his wife make you a person that resides on the wrong side of history. You don't have to like that, by the way. It is fact.
Nobody wants this kind of a psychopath up their asshole all the time.
Because what Ethan is doing comes across to some as a bit much. To the rest of us, it looks like somebody finally pulling the trigger and going, you've had your fun, now let me just show you what it's like to be on the receiving end for a change. So, does it make him psychotic? No. It means you've hit the breaking point, and he's decided to show you what a consequence looks like. And I fully expect you, Hasan Piker, to be on the receiving end of one of those in the future, whether you like it or not. The reality is, you guys have, for years, indulged, humoured, bullied, harangued, harassed, stalked him. Ethan, that is. Everyone has a limit. Everyone has a limit. And it turns out, because of how Ethan has quickly turned this around, he has managed to make you reaction folk that do reaction content and don't react at all look remarkably pointless. The word grifter couldn't be more apt.
But that's the problem. The less people push back against people like this, or even Asmongold, for example, for saying a whole bunch of insane things that actually make this space that we occupy a less safe space.
I'd love for you to be more specific, but there'd be too much dead air between your points. Additionally, I think when it comes to what Twitch is, a massive left-leaning echo chamber that has gotten so bad it's drowned out the majority of the gamers that exist on the platform. Hi, I play games there too. You'll find that now, because of the standards set by many of you, that there are going to be more creators that say what you don't want to hear. You can't exist in a safe space, echo chamber, cuddle box, padded cell forever. Sometimes you need to hear things you don't like. You think it makes things unsafe. Right now, the only thing that tickles me is that Tectone has been banned yet again, and when he raised the legit threats and concerns that he has been receiving, Twitch told him to ignore it. And they did nothing about them, those that are causing the problem, even when he provided the evidence to confirm it. So who's really unsafe right now? Well, it turns out it's those that have differing opinions to yourself. If I say anything untoward about you on Twitch, even with my smaller audience, I would likely get a ban. Why? Because you are a protected class. Not because of race, not because of gender, not because of nationality or faith. No, just because you're Hasan Piker and you're balls deep in Dan Clancy.
For a lot of our fans that are trans or have undocumented family members or themselves are undocumented.
If you are an illegal person in a country you therefore shouldn't be in, you should be afraid. You should be, because you are not legally there. Therefore, you should be found and removed. If you don't like to hear that, that is a you problem, not a me problem. If you cannot get there through legal means or channels, it's on you then really, isn't it? To those who are LGBT, if you feel unsafe at what Asmongold says, I think you might be a bit too sensitive. If you're too sensitive to that and what Ethan says as well, you probably shouldn't pay attention to them that much. Then again, what they are saying resonates with a vast swath, a majority in fact, in the United States right now. It's applying to other countries too. It's getting bigger. People need to listen and they need to talk. Something which you're not very good at, in case you hadn't noticed.
Or not white, you know what I mean? Like,
I have no idea what you mean, but I love this idea you think that because someone's white, they can't understand what it's like to be on the receiving end of discrimination. That's cute, by the way. It's almost adorable, but because it came from your bored voice, it lost the edge.
When none of us push back against these large content creators, and all of the big content creators that normally understand that this kind of thing is completely unacceptable, or even what Asmongold is doing is completely unacceptable, keeps silent, the only voices you hear create a new permission structure that make it seem as though everyone actually has this point of view.
Now, just in case you didn't understand that, because Hasan has overcomplicated something that is remarkably simple to understand, what he means to say is, I can't keep up with the fact that the political window and landscape has changed, and what is now acceptable while not acceptable a few years ago that gave me my edge and put me at the top of my game has now put me in a position of threat and irrelevance. I don't like that because I have 10 grand shoes to buy. I'm a good socialist, everyone. This desire to constantly overcomplicate these more simplistic problems shows how you genuinely do believe you are a voice and authority, and therefore you are one of many that should be listened to, and not those who are, to you, I'll say it the other way, ultimately it doesn't matter what you think as much as you would like it to. Again, because you've unnecessarily complicated it, and because You guys are being found out. Because you can't accept you've been in the wrong, and you're being found out for that, you are falling quite badly. You're crashing out. You're so busy, so desperate to aura max. Yes, I'm aware of what this term is now. Apparently you think you're a WWE superstar that spends far too much time on an entrance and not bothering to perform in the ring. Which does make some sense, because when you perform in your ring, your office, there's more dead air.
Everyone actually agrees with Ethan, because the only people that I hear from are people who agree with Ethan, right?
Have you considered, when it comes to reaction channels, openly admitting that they are going to misuse copyright and abuse fair use to make content where they do not do anything remotely transformative or add any commentary to it, that Ethan has a point and a leg to stand on when it comes to copyright infringement? It's why we obey fair use. Notice I'm using very short clips of you. I'm not taking you out of context, but I'm using very short clips on purpose so I don't misuse it. I'm adding commentary to point out you're wrong. You can't accept it, even though in this he is 100% Ethan, that is 100% in the right. When it comes to fair use, he is right. You are not. Your reaction channels are so inferior to everyone else. Seriously, you're a blight in the online space. You are the very slop tubers you like to look down on.
Or the only people that I hear from are people who agree with Asmon, and anyone who speaks out against Asmon is the recipient of an endless torrent of hate.
Spoken with no level of irony, because you, like others, justified what Ethan had to endure for years. People will get criticized for their opinions in the online space. The court of public opinion is not swayed by what you believe regulation needs to exist for, which is what you tried to infer earlier, which is why it was so pointlessly complicated.
I try to explain to people that this, content creators, that this kind of silence in this circumstance unironically creates a less safe environment for everyone, including themselves, because these guys will eventually move on and will go after someone else, and eventually it'll be someone that you love, right?
I don't think you understand how commentary works. You see, now that you are a lolcow, as are many of your orbiters, you are pinatas. You will remain as such for a long time, for as long as your dumb beliefs are at the forefront of your, quote, content. And by the way, trying to get others who don't say anything on this to say something, because it doesn't create a safe environment if you don't say anything. What you're trying to do there is bully, guilt trip. It's manipulation 101, don't try any of us. We are a lot smarter than that. You're not, apparently.
Or even if it's like Asmon and Ethan, I bracket off in different ways. Like Asmon is just right-wing reactionary and is just doing reactionary right-wing propaganda. Ethan is doing frivolous lawsuits and litigation in a way that actually is like very harmful to the space in a different way.
I don't care which political way Asmongold swings. Really don't care. If someone is correct on an issue, they are correct. Much of what he says is often touted as art-based. Anyone recognize that? And second, you mentioned Ethan being different because of the frivolous litigation. Yeah, that's what we call copyright infringement lawsuits. I fully stand on his side, by the way. 100%. You misuse someone else's property, you should be sued for it. Copyright is important and should be protected. They admitted they were intentionally abusing it, and they added no commentary, which is why all three of them got hit, and then Sean DeBlack got hit as well for good measure. I fully expect you to get hit in the future just for the bants, once he wins against everyone else.
Right? He also does engage in some reactionary tendencies as well, but like overall, they're making a more toxic environment.
No, they're not making a more toxic environment. They are showing you that your Hugbox environment is toxic, because it has been allowed to fester, to stew, and be unaccountable for years. And because of that, it led to people doing truly heinous things like sending skulls to Ethan's home, calling CPS on him because of his child. Things like that? No. Many other things, in fact, and it's been going for years, and you and iDubbbz and others, many, the Orbiters too, justified it. You all did. The toxic environment you think that exists now is actually a healthy environment where people of differing beliefs share their differing beliefs. That, to me, is healthier than not having a difference of opinion. It is toxic to all think the same way. If you don't like that, that's a you problem, not a me problem. Now, as we reach the end of this, I'd love to know what everyone thinks. Please do let me know in the comments down below. Hope to see you on Twitch or Kick later, if not Rumble too, for maybe some politics, I don't know yet. Hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you all very much for listening.